Chapter 21:17, Destroy the Wuwang Empire. Sui left Jing Lu's room. At this moment, the two who had gone out on a mission had returned and were waiting. Jing Lu called them in and asked, "How is it? What are the humans of the Hashu Kingdom up to?" Animo gritted his teeth and laughed coldly. "They've been scared by us. The city called Tianhai City has been completely evacuated by humans, who should have headed inland. There are still some humans active in East Sea City, and I punished them a little. If they don't leave, I'll kill everyone there." Jing Lu asked, "Are they not gathering any troops? Even a lion fights a rabbit with all its might." Jing Lu was pressuring Jeang Yi and the others in the hope of provoking them into starting a war, so that he could completely destroy the Hashu Kingdom's top fighters. Animo spread his hands and laughed. "Them? Do they have the strength to fight against our Wuwang Empire?" Jing Lu looked at the lizard girl Bing Li Huan beside him. She also nodded. "I haven't noticed any signs of them gathering troops. Those guys are cowardly and don't have the courage to fight back against us." Jing Lu did not think so. "Don't underestimate your enemies. Even that weak race was created by the Creator himself. We must be on guard against them at all times to avoid disaster." Bing Li Huan said, "Don't worry. Their technology is too poor, they don't have the ability to attack us." The Wuwang Empire was 25,000 meters below the surface. There was only one way for human troops to enter this area, and that was through Mist Valley on Star Island. After passing through the highly corrosive poisonous mist area, they had to descend all the way down the abyss. The oxygen concentration underground was very thin, and the lizard people were accustomed to surviving in a low-oxygen environment. However, it was difficult for humans to adapt to this area. It was just like how lizard people couldn't adapt to ultraviolet rays. If the Hashu Kingdom's army really dared to attack, they would only need to defend the bottom of the cave and aim their laser cannons at the sky to wipe them out. Not to mention that they also had the natural advantage of their location. Jing Lu nodded. Of course, he understood this very well. "All right. In that case, let's prepare for the second tsunami attack." After the last attack, he was certain of one thing. The Dragon Clan would not easily appear on the surface world. Like him, they feared the will of the Creator. Second, the Dragon Clan did not care about the survival of humans. Perhaps they just did not want other races to encroach on their territory. Therefore, tsunamis were a good means of attack. They would wash away the insects on the ground without destroying the land. If they still don't take any action after this, we'll launch a third and fourth attack. Jing Lu looked at the huge world map in front of him. Following the direction of the ocean currents, we only need to slightly guide the weather and combine it with the power of the doomsday weapon. It's not that difficult. 3 days quickly passed. On the third day, Jeang Yi finally received a reply from the Xinjiang region. As expected, they agreed to provide weapons, resources, and troops for the special military operation against the Wuwang Empire. However, the specific scale of assistance still needed to be discussed with Jeang Yi. After the Xinjiang region made its statement, the Northeast region quickly responded that it was willing to send troops. At this point, the entire Hashu Kingdom had reached a battle agreement. The next thing to discuss was how many troops to mobilize to fight the Wuwang Empire. And how to fight. In fact, the key point of confusion for the other regions at this time was that Jeang Yi had revealed very little information. It was almost as if Jeang Yi was using his personal strength and credibility as collateral to ask the other regions to take a stand when the situation was still unclear. Although they had agreed for now, they felt that directly attacking the Wuwang Empire's homeland was too absurd. At most, they could form a blocking force at sea to fight the Wuwang Empire's naval forces. "Let's hold an online meeting. I will explain the specific situation to everyone myself." Jeang Yi sent a message directly to the senior officials of all the regions. Soon, a high-level meeting of all the senior officials of the 6 major regions began online. In a quiet conference room in Tianhai Fortress, everyone's projections appeared in the room, looking no different from everyone gathered together. In the Xinjiang region, the Supreme Commander Meng Yuanjun and the 2 highest-ranking combatants were present. In the northeast region, the old commander Ji Changhai, Han Shanzhua, and Hu Mengfang also appeared. The National Protectorate Army also participated in the meeting, represented by the Black Emperor Xuanqiu and the White Emperor Xiao Hao. The two men dressed in thick military uniforms made the atmosphere much more solemn as soon as they appeared. The northwest region was represented by Xiao Liu alone. The southwest region was represented by the current Supreme Commander Luo Zhuo and his trusted mutant female warrior, Snow Mathreya, Bam. The East Sea region was represented by Li Guangxiao, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise. The Jiangnan region was represented by Zhu Zheng, as well as Jeang Yi and Yang Xinxin. The most powerful and military figures in the entire Hashu Kingdom had gathered here. Hello, everyone! This is the second time that the leaders of our various regions and the National Protectorate Army have gathered together. Jeang Yi, as the organizer of the meeting, was the first to speak and introduce the purpose of the meeting. As with the previous meeting, the purpose of this meeting is to deal with the potential threat from the Wuwang Empire and other nearby threats. Now that all the major regions have formed a united front and are willing to contribute troops, weapons, and energy, I am very pleased. This shows that everyone is on the same page and working together. Jeang Yi said a few words with a smile. On the Xinjiang region side, Meng Yuanjun smiled faintly. Chaos, we are all old acquaintances. Tell us, what exactly do you want to do? What do you need us to do for you? Let us be prepared. Jeang Yi crossed his arms on the table, smiling, but his eyes were sharp as he slowly scanned the crowd. I didn't know your attitude before, so I didn't make myself clear. This was to avoid unnecessary trouble and panic. Jeang Yi emphasized the last two words. Upon hearing this, the expressions of everyone present became much more serious. Panic? What kind of situation could cause the supreme commander of the 6 major regions of the Hashu Kingdom and the strongest mutant to panic? They had a bad feeling in their hearts. Jeang Yi didn't beat around the bush and said directly, I'll be blunt. My plan is to organize a powerful army composed of the top mutants and the most elite warriors, march directly into the Wuwang Empire's headquarters, and completely eradicate this ancient civilization from the planet. Chapter 21:18, I am confident of victory. When he said this, everyone's jaws dropped. What? Eradicate. Eradicate the Wuwang Empire? Han Shanzhua sat in the heated room in the northeast, with Hu Mengfang and Ji Changhai by his side, but he still felt a chill run through his body. Jeang Yi's words made his heart race. With their current strength, could they really defeat a powerful ancient kingdom that had been passed down for hundreds of millions of years? Han Shanzhua couldn't help but look at Hu Mengfang beside him. Old Hu, is there something wrong with my ears? I thought I heard Chaos say that he was going to wipe out the Wuwang Empire. Hu Mengfang smiled bitterly. It seems like you heard correctly, that's really what he said. The entire conference room became noisy, with all the major regions unable to remain calm and engaging in heated discussions. Even Zhu Zheng sat on his chair with a look of shock on his face. He knew that Jeang Yi had taken away the Reaper of Love's control and the raw materials needed to create the Reaper of Love in order to take revenge on the Wuwang Empire. But he never imagined that Jeang Yi would be so bold. Chaos. Isn't that idea a bit far-fetched? With our current strength, even the combined forces of the entire country might not be able to defeat the Wuwang Empire. And you say you want to destroy them? They are in the underground world, and we don't have any information about them. If we attack with the combined forces of the entire country, it would be tantamount to pushing the Hashu Kingdom into the abyss from which there is no return. Everyone spoke up, disagreeing with Jeang Yi's crazy idea. This plan was not worth the cost, regardless of whether they could win or not. Even if they won, it would only be a miserable victory, and it was not worth it. Jeang Yi knew it would be like this, so he remained expressionless. He just leaned back on the sofa and waited quietly for everyone to shut up. Sure enough, seeing Jeang Yi's reaction, everyone was unsure of what he was thinking and stopped talking one after another. When they had all quieted down, Jeang Yi asked, I would like to ask you all a question. Do you think you have a clear understanding of me and the power that my team possesses? This question stumped everyone. Jeang Yi had always kept the information about Tianhai City tightly sealed, and it was only after he defeated King Arthur that everyone gained a clearer understanding of his strength. But so what? Tianhai City was a small city with only tens of thousands of people and a few hundred mutants. Even if they were very powerful, they were only equivalent to a large district's combat strength at most. No one thought that Jeang Yi was particularly outstanding. However, Meng Yuanjun felt that Jeang Yi's tone was a little unusual. He knew that Jeang Yi was not a reckless person, and he would never go to his death unless he really had the strength to shake the Wuwang Empire. This idea was a bit far-fetched, but Meng Yuanjun still asked, "Are you confident that you can lead our people to destroy the entire Wuwang Empire?" Jeang Yi chuckled lightly. "At this point, I won't hide anything anymore. Some things have already been speculated outside, and I can't hide them anymore. So I might as well tell you. Fremons, that mighty god-level civilization we encountered. In the end, I was the one who passed the trial." Jeang Yi swept Yang Xinxin away. He was accustomed to protecting the people around him and taking on the main risks himself. This sentence made everyone's hearts race. The leaders of all countries around the world had seen the power of the Yihen tribe through images. It was an unimaginable, super-powerful ancient civilization. It was likely that even the octopus-shaped mechanical soldiers guarding the gates of that civilization could destroy many super-powerful human countries. Now, Jeang Yi was saying that he had obtained the inheritance of that civilization. But at that time, he was covered in injuries and said that he had failed. Slowly, everyone's gaze toward Jeang Yi turned to envy, fear, and gnashing of teeth. They thought that if it were Jeang Yi, he would indeed be capable of doing such a thing. He had taken all the benefits for himself, but in the end, he pretended to be a failure so that others would not know his true strength. No wonder you were so generous when you came back from Fremons and gave us so many mechanical life forms to study. So you got the most valuable reward. Han Shan's sighed deeply. "I knew it, that wasn't like you." Everyone was filled with curiosity and wanted to know what Jeang Yi had gotten from the Yihen tribe, but they didn't dare to ask directly. Jeang Yi hadn't finished yet. He continued, "Not long ago, I was invited to North Feizhou. I'm really sorry, but I secretly went to do something important. Do you still remember the huge demon god that appeared in the sky above Chernobyl that day?" Ho Tu nodded. It was Zhulong, the supreme demon god and a primordial beast recorded in the classic of mountains and seas. In Western mythology, it is known as Mammon, the sin of greed among the 7 demon kings of hell. Jeang Yi said indifferently, "I went to the Demon's Eye and joined forces with some Nordic countries and the Holy See to seal it away." At that moment, the conference room was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. All you could hear was a gasp of shock. Everyone's eyes were wide open, looking at Jeang Yi as if he were a monster. Most of them didn't know about this matter. Only the Xinjiang region had heard about it through its powerful intelligence network. However, upon hearing Jeang Yi say this with his own ears, Ho Tua's expression wavered slightly. She thought Jeang Yi was crazy for taking such risks. However, it was precisely because he kept entering various forbidden areas that he was able to grow so quickly and become what he was today. In contrast, the others were basically treading water. For a moment, Ho Tua's heart was filled with emotion, but at the same time, she also felt a little grateful to Jeang Yi. If it weren't for Jeang Yi and the others going to North Feizhou and triggering the bronze pillar array in the sealed area, she would not have been able to enter the Dragon Clan's realm and obtain the inheritance of that elder. Jeang Yi picked up a cup from beside him and took a sip of hot coffee. "So, the power I now possess and everything I have mastered are far beyond your imagination. Don't ask me what I've gained. There are some things I can't tell you yet. They are secrets. But you can rest assured that since I dared to start this war, I am confident of victory." Confident of victory. What a big mouth. Anyone else would be ridiculed for saying something like that. But that person was Jeang Yi. Everyone in the Hashu Kingdom knew that he was the most cautious man who feared death the most. Therefore, his words carried a lot of weight.